Welcome, students. So we discussed about the four-stroke petrol engine in the previous lecture. So in this lecture, we will discuss about the two-stroke petrol engine. So the four-stroke, every stroke happens on its own. It is clearly visible. That is clearly distinguished. Each stroke is clearly distinguished, and each stroke has a specific process. That is power stroke, suction, compression, exhaust. All these stroke has specific distinction. But if you take a two-stroke engine, there is no specific distinction between the strokes. Within the two strokes, all the process has to happen. That is suction, compression, expansion, and exhaust has to be completed within two strokes itself. So how that is done, we will see now. This is quite what to say, quite hard to understand when you compare a two four-stroke, but working is simple. So this is a simple engine. So what I'm trying to say here is the basic mechanism of this two-stroke engine is quite simple when you compare it to a four-stroke engine. So in a four-stroke engine, only the combustion chamber was hermetically sealed. But if you take a two-stroke engine here, so I will show you a clear idea now, image here. So if you see in this image, so the entire part, that is piston, connecting rod, crankshaft. So entire part will be hermetically sealed. So here the air fuel mixture will flow inside the piston, connecting rod, crankshaft. So the entire space, the air fuel mixture will be circulating. Whereas if you take a four-stroke engine, only the combustion chamber, the air fuel mixture will be present. But here it will be surrounding the entire part, entire engine. So that's why if you take a TVS 50, when you go to a petrol bunk, you will be adding the oil along with the petrol, because here lubrication is done with the air fuel mixture itself. The lubricant is not applied separately, but it circulates with the petrol itself, because the entire thing, the air fuel mixture will be circulating inside the entire engine chamber. So that's why this is quite a tedious process, but it's a simple machine. So what happens is that the first stroke is the beginning of the power stroke. So we will start from the power stroke because it will be easy to understand. So the first stroke will be the power stroke, that is starting of the spark. Once the spark plug is ignited, what happens is that sudden movement down of the piston will happen. Suddenly the piston will move down. That is the power stroke will be happening. So if the piston moves down, what happens is that the exhaust gas will go outside through the exhaust port. So first I will explain the parts. So here, this part, exhaust port will be above the inlet port. But in a four-stroke engine, both will be available in the top corners. But here, the exhaust port is present above the inlet port. So, and then there is another port called as a transfer port. I will explain the need for the transfer port again separately. So the first stroke, what happens is that the power stroke, the combustion takes place and the piston is pushed down rapidly. So once it is pushed down, what happens? The exhaust gases will be flowing outside through the exhaust port, because it is present above the inlet port. The exhaust gas will be coming outside. This is the first stroke. The first stroke, compression, sorry, that is power as well as exhaust is combined. So power stroke and exhaust stroke is combined. Power and exhaust is combined as a single stroke. Power as well as exhaust will happen in a single stroke. Obviously, in the next stroke, in suction and compression will takes place. So power and exhaust is taking place in a single stroke. Similarly, suction and compression will be the second stroke. So what happens in the second stroke, we will see in the next lecture video. So to give a quick recap, we discussed about the two-stroke engine. So two-stroke engine is the entire engine body will be covered by a hermetical seal, and here the exhaust port will be above the inlet port. So in the first stroke, what happens? The power stroke takes place. During the power stroke, exhaust also happens. So remember up to this. We'll cover the second stroke in the next lecture video. Thank you.